Hi there, welcome back. You're still watching Prime Morning. It's still a news flash here, and we're about to get into our newspapers first, and after that, we'll get into our main discussion for today, having to do with election violence, and follows the investigations that was conducted into the 2020 and 2024 elections, and quite some interesting things have come out of that. One of the constituencies that intrigued me the most was Ewutu Senya, and what the minister had to say about Ewutu Senya. Quite interesting because of the reports that we heard about that particular constituency in 2024 during the elections, and what the task force that looked into the violence was told. Really interesting development there, but quite unfortunate. The number of lives we've had to lose in the last two elections, completely unacceptable for a mature democracy like Ghana. But also, later on the show, we'll bring you our fourth episode of Dear Mahama, where we continue to drum home the message that the fight against Galamsey must continue. It must continue. And hopefully, in the course of the show, we'll bring you that episode today, our letter to the president on the need to fight Galamsey. Now, instead of me, Awal Mohammed is a member of the MPP communication team, and of course, also a member of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia communication campaign team, looking to retain him as the flag bearer of the party. Also, I've got Dr. Ramzi Inusah. He's Director of Political Research at United Party. He's also in studio. Gentlemen, good morning. Good to have you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good to have you. I hope you're all well.
Well, I'm doing good. So far, so good, I can say.
So far, so good. Your party is how many months now? I think it was last month it was launched.
That's right.
And it's 2 months of United Party. So far, so good?
So far, so good. We're growing incrementally. Indeed, a lot of people have casted a lot of doubts, even when we started with the movement, that we would even survive. But today, we've been able to metamorphose into a political party.
How many people have, can you estimate the membership at the moment?
Oh, we are to the thousands. Yeah, we're a huge number. We're into the thousands. But, you know, in forming a party, you cannot have an immediate effect then, but there will be a definite effect.
Yeah.
And so we are calling on the people of Ghana to support and rally with the United Party, a party that believes in the tenets of democracy, a party that believes in a Ghana First agenda, right? And a party that will not support political clientelism, as we've seen by the two major parties.
Interesting.
And so, Razak, you also...
I was there at the launch.
Yeah, but you can also join us as well. I mean, the media has a huge role to play. But I'm sure that...
if we join you, I wonder how we can hold you...
no, as a citizen, you can definitely align as a citizen, not as an employee of Joy Prime.
All right, interesting. Well, good to have you also. Dr. Bawumia, he was in the... Was it the Hafu region? Where was he recently?
No, Western region.
Western region?
Yes.
He's moved
still
there.
He's still in the Western region.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. He's still in the Western region. Then he will do Esikado Ketan and the second D today. About 3 constituencies per day. Usually that's what is done. And I think that will end Western for today because he's been there for the last 4 days. And he has done Western region, Western North, Ahafo, then Bono East, and about 6 regions now. And his wife, Hajia Samira, too, will be wrapping up the Central region. So we're still crisscrossing the country, trying to really tell the delegates the need for them to maintain Dr. Bawumia as the most prepared candidate, the most marketable and winnable candidate. Today, if you look at him with his opponents and even those his potential opponents in the NDC, in terms of experience, he's more experienced than all of them. In terms of governance, he's more experienced than them. He has been the vice president for the last 80 years. So he has, at a point in time, been acting president before. So has been in cabinet for 8 years and so on. The rest, the highest you might get is maybe 6 years as a minister of state. And so in terms of governance,
that would be the case if, okay, you're talking about his opponents within the MPP.
Within the MPP, even outside the MPP.
Now, if Prof. Jane...
she will still be 4 years as vice president. He has been 8 years as vice president.
Interesting. Quite an interesting dynamic.
So when you look at it, what we all need now is to fashion our messages clearly and present it to the people of this country. Even children should be able to identify him as the potential president of the Republic.
All right, let me do a few newspapers now, and then we'll get into our issues. And of course, our main issue for today is also captured in the newspapers. I start with the Accra Times, and the Accra Times has got, okay, let me just, so you have Daily Gist, so you can have it. You can just read the front page for me. So the Accra Times have got report on NIMO's team. I won't shield any MP. That's according to the speaker. And of course, that was captured in our news today. Then IPU appoints Bagbin as member of task force towards peaceful resolution of Russia-Ukraine war. And the majority leader reacted to this appointment and told the speaker that he should focus on resolving conflict in his region before he goes to Russia. It's interesting. Then help protect Ghana's maritime integrity. Mahama calls for support from France. And then Victor Smith calls on U.S. investors to partner Ghana in her new era of economic renewal. And then you have call on NPP decision makers. Let's embrace Paul Afuku. That's according to Chumesi Kankam. And then Parliament observes practice and procedure week with Deputy Clerk, Mr. Camilo Puaman, also captured in the newspapers here. Let me just do the Inside newspaper, then I'll come to you a while, and then you read your headlines for us. The Inside newspaper has got SMG condemns foreign meddling in Sudan, calls for African solidarity with its war-ravaged people. Really unfortunate what's happening in Sudan. Just, if you look at the pictures and videos coming from Sudan, it's just heartbreaking, so heartbreaking. And it's so worrying that whether the African Union or the United Nations, it appears all these organizations are helpless. They can't do anything. It's just unbelievable. Now, World Diabetes Day sparked national health awakening, and report blames police and military for 2020 and 2024 election clashes that claim 7 lives. And people in the U.S. go hungry as Trump spends millions to invade Venezuela. Then you have cleric proposed new approach to end Galamsey menace in Ghana is also captured here. All right, well, you've got the
Ghanaian publisher. Yes, and the Pambros dispute, Lands Commission confirmed Tangwe's ownership. Bawumia's sacrifice can't be ignored, MP to MPP. CID takes over NIMO's assault case. And minority accuses minister of disrespecting parliament. I will be happy if you allow me read this story, just some
maybe one paragraph.
Yes. So the member of parliament for Achuma Kwahuma, Honorable Kofi Amankwemenu, has mounted spirited defense of former Vice President Dr. Bawumia, describing him as the new Patriotic Party's most formidable and deserving candidate to lead the party into the next elections, in what appears to be a direct response to growing internal attacks on former flag bearer. Mr. Amankwemenu questioned the sudden shift in attitude among some senior members of the party who, he recalled, once celebrated Dr. Bawumia as an indispensable asset.
Interesting. Okay, you also got the Daily Gist, right?
That's right. I thought you said we should read the headlines, but it seems I wants to campaign here. But anyway.
At the back page, I think also the back page has Dr. Bawumia number 3. Yes.
Well, I've got the Daily Gist. It says, Galamsey MP hot, dragged to court for attacking soldiers. OSP charges useless, says ex-NPA boss. Mahama drives Ghana in anti-democratic path, the British Telegraph. 21 suspects identified in 2020-2024 electoral violence. Wontumi's boy ditches him for AG cases adjourned. G, the Ghana Journalists Association pushes for injustice for Ahmed Swale.
So, interesting development there. The situation with Ahmed Swale.
For
justice.
I said justice. Okay.
Yeah, justice. Well, the Daily Graphic says 21 culprits face trial, 15 deaths, 39 injuries recorded in the 2020 and 24 elections. Then Graphic has paid dues to national development. Professor Aaron Michael Kwe loading the Daily Graphic there, and 12.16 billion MDA payment claims rejected. Verification window opens until November 7, and State Housing Company takes steps to recover outstanding debts. So that is that. But big one, of course. Interesting. Then there are a few stories here where Forestry Commission and whole West DCE tussle over seized timber. Interesting. All right. Well, so let's get into our story for today. And that's, of course, is also the main story on the front page of the Daily Graphic, with police investigations, we understand, have found 21 individuals culpable for election-related violence in the 20 and 2024 election, which together claimed 15 lives and injured 40 others. Now, the Minister for Interior, Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak, spoke at the ISD, Information Services Department, Press Briefing Center yesterday, and he gave us a highlight of it.
The Inspector General of Police inaugurated a special task force within the Criminal Investigation Department, CID, of the Ghana Police Service. The mandate of the task force was to collaborate with the stakeholders to identify, review, and investigate all electoral violent cases that resulted in fatalities during the 2020 and 2024 general election. The Special Investigation Task Force identified 12 cases that took place during the 2020 and 2024 general election. These cases had resulted in 15 deaths across the country, and well over 40 individuals got injured. The report outlined detailed account of all the 12 cases recorded during the period. The detailed report, which has been submitted to His Excellency the President, also contains the various incidents, how they were brought or got to the notice of the police, and actions taken by investigators in line with the laid down investigation protocol and procedure. Investigation into one of the cases during the 2020 general election at Odududu was completed. The Attorney General is currently prosecuting 3 persons who are standing trials at the High Court Criminal Division, Accra. The investigation established that 3 of the cases resulting in 4 deaths are traceable to the use of firearms by armed police patrol teams. Military personnel were also found to be responsible for 3 of the cases resulting in the death of 3 persons when they intervened to restore calm to chaotic crowds. Investigation further established that 4 of the cases, which resulted in 5 deaths, were recorded when party enthusiastic supporters resorted to the use of firearms against their opponent. The 2 other cases involve persons who were lynched during confrontation between supporters of the 2 major parties.
So that was the minister, but he also made an important revelation where he said that the investigation task force uncovered disturbing evidence of excessive force by both police and military personnel during election security operations in 2020 and 2024. He says at least the 7 deaths were directly linked to live rounds fired by security teams attempting to control crowds. The Interior Minister, a report cited poor coordination, indiscipline, and disregard for standard control procedures. Listen to him.
You are beating someone here.
Now, and what you just saw was what happened in the recent election at Ablekuma. Not the rerun, and one was wondering that after all that happened in the 2020 and particularly the 2024 elections, we would have learned the lessons and would have gone into that rerun with some civility. However, it also ended with some very disturbing scenes. The deputy national organizer of the MPP was stamped upon, stamped, he was beaten. We saw Howard Kumsun also, people flying to headbutt her and all of that. It's just unbelievable. Now, we do have a table because the minister gave us a table and he gave us a breakdown of the things that happened. Hopefully that will be on the screen very soon. Of course, that's on the screen now. And you can see, this is a summary of the cases. In the 2020 election, you could see constituency by constituency. In the Bunu East region, specifically in the Techim and South constituency, 2 people died in the 2020 elections and 9 people were injured. In the Greater Accra region, particularly in the Rodiodio constituency, 2 people lost their lives and 15 people got injured. In the Greater Accra region still, particularly at Ablekuma Central, 1 person lost the life and 4 people were injured. In the Bono region, in the Banda constituency, 1 person lost a life and 2 people got injured. Still in the Bono region, Doma West to be precise, 1 person died and another got injured. In the northern region, Savelugu, 1 person died and 3 people got injured. Then in the 2024 general election, almost become like people dying is a ritual. In the central region, Ewutu Senya, 1 person died and 1 got injured. And then in the northern region, you've got, in the Tolan constituency, 1 person lost their life. In the Savannah region in Damango, 1 person died. In the Bono East, in the Nkranza South constituency, 1 person died. In the Ashanti region of Finsun North, 2 people died and 2 got injured. Then it's still in the Ashanti region and the Ahafo Ano Southwest, 1 person died and 3 people were injured. So if you look at the total number of deaths in 2020 and 2024 election, 15 people lost their lives, while you had 40 people, being injured in the process. And according to the minister, 21 culprits are facing trial at the moment. Very, very unfortunate developments in our election, and one would think that after many years of election, these things will be contained, but no. And significantly, the minister says most of these deaths, at least about 7 of them, were as a result of live rounds from the security personnel. Well, let me start with you, Doc. Let me get your first thoughts on this. Of course, I'm sure you followed it, you've seen it. What have you been making of this?
Yeah, Razak, it's quite worrying for our democracy. Ghana is being respected across the world as one of the most stable countries in the world politically, especially even in our sub-region, sub-Saharan Africa. And so if we are going into elections each time and we're losing lives, even if we lose 1 life, it is big because life is priceless. Yeah. You can't replace anyone's life. True. You know what I mean? And so I condemn this act, and this act has been perpetrated by these 2 major political parties, the MPP and the NDC, right? And because our electoral laws and institutions that are supposed to checkmate all these issues are weak. The Electoral Commission is weak. our police service and the military. I do not see the business of the military at the polling station.
Yes.
This has been something that I have raised for so many years because the training that the military gets is quite different from the police. And when you are dealing with civil riot and crowd control, the police is best placed to do that.
Yeah.
And so I must condemn wholeheartedly the failure of all these state actors in mitigating all these...
I mean, for the EC, for instance, often their defense is that, look, our business is to conduct the election. Security is not... We are not responsible for the safety of people there. It's the business of the police. So often the EC says, why then do you blame us when there is violence, when all we have to do is to conduct the election, give people ballots, they vote, we count, and our job is done.
Isaac, if you look at the Afro-Barometer report, the trust in the EC has dwindled. You understand? And it's because of the conduct of the EC in the past years. And so if you conduct yourself as a referee, if you conduct yourself in a manner that shows some form of favoritism towards a particular side, and the perception is out there, of course then it would fuel violence, it would fuel anger among the people of Ghana. It is natural. And so we need to place the blame also at the doorstep of the EC. We saw in the 2020 elections, right, that the EC changed the figures more than 8 times. Unprecedented in the history of this country. And I must also acknowledge the best thing Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has done to this country is to concede defeat early. That is the greatest achievement he has had.
I mean, he's come on attack for that.
No, I mean, I should acknowledge him for that. The best thing Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has done, right, for this country is to accept defeat, which he knew he was going to get in the first place, right? And so I must this morning commend him for such patriotic stance. You understand what I'm saying? The best thing, remember what I said, the best thing Mahmoud Bawumia has done for this country is to concede defeat early. And so we hope to see some form of reforms. I know that, all the time we set up committees, recommendations are made, right? You quite remember the Ayawaso West by-election.
Yes.
I was there. Utterly unnecessary. Utterly lawlessness. Some people were shot. Why would you take a gun to a polling station in the name of an election? For what reason? And the tags that were recruited by the MPP into our various security agencies should be looked at. And I have even told the Ministry of Interior that they should investigate because, Razak, I have been a victim of this brutality by the police this year.
What was the experience? Tell us about it.
Look, I was in my office one afternoon, and then I got a call that there's some suspected individuals moving around, right? And so I had placed a call, right, to my security guard. I had told him that this is what is happening. So I'm going outside to really verify the information. I walked down the streets, I saw this pickup, because the description of the car was a pickup, not in a GP number plate as is known as a police number plate. So I went there, I introduced myself to the driver, and I saw some men with beard and earrings and shades. I said, I'm Dr. Inusah. And in our local language, he said, oh, you're Dr. Ntidem for excuse me.
That's what they told you?
Yeah. So I got upset and I said, but you are in my territory. You've parked close to my property for a while now. You've gone, you've come back, and I have every right to question you of any, alien activity. I have every right. I walked away, I grabbed the phone, I called one commissioner of police that I think that there might be danger here, so he should really come to our rescue and all that. For no from no altercation or no instigation of any violence, these people came out of the car, a different private vehicle came, and then they pounced on me. I was handcuffed, I was assaulted, my guard was hit, I was thrown into a pickup and then taken to the police station. Till date, I had petitioned the office of the IGP.
When was this? When
It happened in August.
August. And they took you to they bundled you like that.
They bundled me.
Which police station were you taking?
The Achimota police station. The evidences are out there. It was even out in social media. I don't know if Awa saw it.
I didn't see. We'll have pushed it.
Do you understand?
Wow.
So,
and since then, nothing has come out of it.
Look, this IGP is the most incompetent IGP we've ever had under the Fourth Republic. COP Yohunu.
Really?
Of course. I have tested his leadership skills. He is a failure. And thank God that he is going to retire very soon. Otherwise, then we would have had a mess in this country.
And you're saying this because of the experience you had?
Look, Razak, earlier this year, I had a case in court. And a judiciary staff acted in contravention to the code of conduct that is laid down for the judiciary staff to follow. I petitioned the office of the acting CJ, Justice Bafo-Boni. In due time, I got a response. And I got a response also with an act. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He acted on the petition. And it brought some resolve to the matter. This IGP, compare the office of the IGP and the office of the CJ. The CJ is, fourth in line. The IGP is nowhere close to the CJ. But this CJ respected my constitutional right. And that is why we keep on saying that if justice is being delayed, justice is being denied. Till date, COP Yohunu has failed.
Nobody has told you why you were bundled into the pickup and sent to Ashimata police station?
Nothing. They had fabricated some lies, right? And the operation was led by one ASP, Nana Bofo, someone Nana Bofo. But you see, Razak, so far as I live, right, I will seek redress. I will seek for justice. And what ASP, Samuel Nana Bofo, did to me and my God, he will pay for it. If not even on earth, but up there. But I will make sure. That's why I'm saying that for so far as I live, he will pay for what he has done. But you see, we keep on hearing all these issues all the time. It shouldn't be that because I am a member of the UP, so therefore I have a platform like this to speak about these issues. That is where you take it seriously, right? All these things that he is recommending to the CIDs, they are all knee-jerk reaction. This person is not competent to fit that position as IGP. And the reason why he was given that position was because the president felt that, okay, out of sympathy, and that he is the most senior, most person in line, so take the position.
But in the context of election violence, of course, like the Interior Minister indicates that at least, he says 7 people who lost their lives in that, and I'm going to come to you very shortly. 7 people lost their lives. Of the 15 people, 7 of them died from the guns of the security personnel.
That's right.
And you also put blame on an NDC and MPP.
That's right.
I'm trying to get the link. Are you? Is the suggestion that the political party, to some extent, is influencing the security personnel?
You know, look, they do recruit people into our security agencies.
Yes.
Right?
I think one has started.
Well, yes. I mean, they place their people in there most of the time through protocol means. We've seen that all the time. Right? And so, depending on who is in power, if you appoint the IG based on your executive authority, and the IGP is responsible for the security of the elections, definitely you will not have trust in the IG. Do you understand? And then you would incite your people against the police or the IG because then you feel that he is a so-called MPP or NDC IG. We've seen that all the time. Do you understand? The second thing is also to do with the conduct of the EC. If the EC does not conduct itself in a fair manner, as stipulated by the laws, then of course it would incite political parties, right, against the actions of the EC.
All right, I'm going to come for you to continue. Just so that I can come.
If you could please allow me so that I digress this issue very well. Now, we in the United Party have realized that the country has been so polarized for so many years. And going forward into a new Ghana, we currently run a unicameral parliamentary system. We are proposing that we introduce a bicameral parliamentary system in Ghana. And with the bicameral parliamentary system, right, this proposal has even been espoused by President Kufuor. Currently, recently even, he has even talked about it, that the traditional authorities, our faith-based organizations, the media, CSOs, trade unions, right, organized labor, right, and private sector industry captains will come together, youth-based organizations, PWDs, will come together to appoint heads of independent constitutional bodies like the IGP, like the CDS, right, like the Chief Justice, so that tomorrow nobody will say that this is an MPP appointee or this is an NDC appointee, as we've even seen recently. Do you understand? And this would mitigate the polarization of our society. Because if you look at the current Afrobarometer report, the indices related to democracy is quite worrying, because a lot of Ghanaians now are calling for the military to take over.
Really?
Of course.
Why did he hear that from?
I mean, if you look at the perception for democracy, they would even prefer more of military rule than even civilian rule.
Where is that coming from?
It is there. You can check. And that the aspiration for democracy is declining under our fourth republic. And you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do appreciate the point.
And so Razak, what we are trying to say is that the manner in which we do politics in this country is quite worrying. The polarization of our society is quite worrying. We need to watch it. The commentary, how we speak on issues, how we direct our supporters, and how we turn heads against each other is quite worrying. We need to watch it. Otherwise, we only have one Ghana. Yeah,
let me bring Awal in now. Awal, you haven't had your first start yet. You can go ahead now. What have you got to say about this? I mean, your party has also been accused of, I mean, in fact, these elections happened while your party was in government. 15 people lost their lives.
Okay, so thank you so much. Dr. Ramzi, take heart, but I think I'm hearing your story for the first time. I think the best thing you have to do now is to petition Muntaka, the Interior Minister. In doing so, go with the media, let them report, and let them listen to him and how he will be able to resolve it. I think that will help you a lot. Because, you see, I have mentioned this on this platform severally, that Yono will go down as the worst IGP Ghana has ever had.
Is that too harsh? I mean,
it is not. You see,
what crime has he committed? What has he done?
Look at what happened. The videos that you're showing are from Ablekumanov. That is the first elections that was organized under him. He deployed over 2,000 police officers to just man few polling stations, 19. The police were standing there whilst NDC thugs were beating people. When he was asked to arrest them, it took him close to 3 months to arrest them. After the arrest, he did not tell the media where he was sending them to. He did not even post their pictures as it used to be for every suspect. He didn't even post their pictures on the Facebook page of police service. After that, when he sent them to the court, that he said he sent them to the court, media didn't go to cover. He still sat in his office and wrote the press release and gave it to the media. Till date, those who were assaulted did not know whether the people who assaulted them were the ones who were charged 8,000 cedis for what happened in Ablekuma North. Again, look at the arrest of Sir Obama, AY, Fanti Comedy, Abronye. What has happened to the arrest? Up to now, they have not even processed them. Nothing is happening to the extent that today, Sir Obama, his mobile phones, his wife's mobile phone, his 11-year-old tablet is still with the police. So if I tell you that he will go down as the worst IGP,
because you had IGPs, no, because you had IGPs who superintended elections in 2020 and 2024, general elections.
Yeah, I'm coming to that.
Lost their lives.
Yes, I'm coming to that.
And he handled Ablekuma North. There was some violence, understandably so. He learned his lessons in Akutia. We saw how seamless Akutia was.
So the question I am asking is that if two girls in Kumasi just said something about the president, which is unpalatable, if Abronye said something about him, that he is the worst IGP, if people sit on social media to say things about the IGP, which IGP in this country have you ever seen going to arrest people, giving them stringent bail conditions at the police station? Say Obama was kept for 5 days. He met all the conditions, but unfortunately, they said the police officer who was to inspect had gone to funeral.
Interesting. Let's come to the elections, which took place while your government was in power, and you have been accused of using the security personnel to, perpetrate violence.
Razak, if you check almost all the incident that happened, none of the incidents happened at a polling station. None of the incidents happened at a polling station. They were all post-elections and some at the coalition centers. In this country, where we have gotten to from 92 up to today, nobody should even lose a finger, not a life, because someone had voted. I had mentioned that indeed we do not need, as a country, we do not need to go into any elections with even police, not to talk about military or any other person. But unfortunately, today in this country, from all indications and from all that had happened, you know that indeed the security are guilty of this. Look at what happened in Savulugu. The one life we lost in Savulugu. It was a stray bullet from the police. Yes, it was just a stray bullet from the police to a minor, 11-year-old in Savulugu. That was in 2020. Again, when you check Techimai South, in Techimai South, you saw the altercation between the police, the military, and the people that they were throwing stones, and you have the videos, and they bent like this and shot at them. How do you blame the government for what happened in Techimai South? What happened in Savulugu, where a stray bullet killed an 11-year-old? What happened in Banda, which was even before elections? Young man came from school. He was a teacher trainee, student. He was ambushed and killed. But he attributed it to the elections. I am surprised that even Muntaka is still repeating it, or the police are repeating it, because what happened in Banda was not really elections related, because it was even before the elections, even though it happened in 2024. So when you check, almost all these were against the police. And you see, the problem we have is our vigilante that we have, the party security, and the people that we use to really, the incitement of our people to go to coalition centers and so on. Look at what happened in Ablekuma Central. He was not built to be at the coalition center. He went there, he got married for like a month. Within the month, he went to the coalition center and was shot by a security person. So almost all these issues, when you check, you see that indeed it was a provocation by the people, and the police shot at them, which is not supposed to be so.
Yeah, because oftentimes, and let me just also mention that we've also been joined by our last guest. It's what do you call it? Is the we just get the designation MCE. He's also MCE for the good people of Finso, and Honorable Frank also Amo has joined us. Honorable, good to have you. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, I hope you're well.
But we are doing very well.
Well, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Good to have you. Good to have you. Yeah, and I was just asking you that. Look, oftentimes, whenever we see the police or the security services acting during elections, in fact, I was there 2024 elections. I covered it. 2020 elections, I also monitored it closely. 2016, I monitored. Every time the security services are working, it's almost as if they are working to protect the government of the day. Are the elections?
I don't think so, because
the incumbent MP has security services around him, and often, if you look at how they go about their work, it's like they are working to protect the incumbent. They are working to protect the incumbent government.
No,
that is what we observe.
That's not the case. When you check in any elections, on the elections day, it is the IGP who is in charge of the security on that day. If really they were there to protect the incumbent, the one that died, the gentleman that died at Mankraso is an MPP person. He was shot dead by allegedly some NDC thugs in Mankraso in 2024 elections. But the police were there.
But in 2016, for instance, you were in opposition.
Yes.
And when you went to the grounds that you were doing the elections, did you, the manner in which the security services were working, did you not get the impression that they were working to protect the government?
No.
You didn't get that impression?
No, because you see, on that elections day, it will be difficult for you to really trust the police. You trust them at your own peril.
So why don't you trust the police on the election day?
Yeah, the reason is that if you are in government and you think you will trust the police on the elections day, you do that at your own peril, because at that time they don't take instructions from the MUSEC or the government. They take instructions from their commanders on the elections day. And that's the reason they could really shoot indiscriminately in the crowds.
Because look, believe it or not, and I'll come to Honorable so that I can also get his thoughts on this. I've never seen anywhere that in any of our general elections where any member of the incumbent is attacked or beaten, like what happened in the Marie run, for instance. There was no way we were going to see an NDC member beaten the way the deputy national organizer was. That was never going to happen.
Yes.
And often the reason why the opposition party have mistrust for the security service is because they believe the security services are working for the government and trying to protect the government. That's why they have the mistrust. That's why you had a mistrust for the security in Akutia.
So that is by elections, where you have the commander-in-chief, where you have the president and so on. But I'm talking about general elections.
Yes, I'm
in general elections. So in 2024, one person was killed in Mankraso, who is an NPP person. If we had the police protection at that time, he wouldn't have been killed.
Why do you think, okay, let me come to Honorable, I'll come back to you. Honorable, I mean, let me just get your thoughts on this. I mean, your government, as recent as the Marie run and the Akutia by-elections, in fact, the MPP, the Akutia by-elections said that they don't trust the IGP. They don't trust the IGP. They were going to go there with a firewall, they said, and people wondered why they needed a firewall. But likewise, you and your party in the 2024 general election and 2020 general elections, you didn't have trust in the police service. You had your doubts. That's why you had body cameras and you were doing activate body cameras and all of that. The argument is that this mistrust the opposition parties often have of security service also contribute to the violence that we've seen.
Thank you for the opportunity. Let me thank the good people of Offenso for giving me the opportunity to lead them. And then before I come to the actual matter of the day, let's ask ourselves now who caused them. When my brother was speaking, he made mention that during when it is time for elections, we don't trust the police. They didn't take instructions from the government, whatever. They take instructions from the commander in charge of the police administration. Let me ask this question: who is in charge of the police administration? Is it not the Minister of Interior? So if on the day of election that we are supposed to have peace, so that people can go out and vote and do whatever they want to do, and they don't take instructions from the government, then it means that there's question that we need to ask ourselves. The politicization of the police by the MPP administration has been the brain behind all this thing that we've been facing. In Tetimine, when lives were lost, about 8 souls, innocent 8 souls were killed. We thought a committee was supposed to be put in place to investigate that situation. We all know that on the day of elections, it's the police who are supposed to be in charge of security.
Yeah.
So when you bring military in, it means that you have changed the narrative. The military, they come and then they take action. So when everything has failed, that is the last resort is going to be the military. So we don't militarize the elections. That when you do that, it means that you are calling for something that we cannot not have access to.
But you know, people find it quite interesting if you blame just the MPP, because when you're in government, as recent as Marie ran, we saw what happened.
Committee was put in place. Those who were actually fell foul to the law were all arrested, and the law took its course. So let me ask you, what happened in Iowa? So people were actually killed. People were actually maimed. People actually are now bedridden because of what happened. A sitting member of parliament was beaten during the day of elections. What happened? Committee was put in place. Measures were actually made to actually take place. What happened? What actually came out of the committee that was put in place to actually investigate what actually brought about the disturbance on the day of election? What did they do?
A law.
What did they do?
We have a law.
What did they do?
But progressively, though, in dealing with it, because and Doc, I'll bring you in very shortly. But progressively, though, Honourable, what do you think we can do? Because as clearly, whether we like it or not, the mistrust in the security services by the opposition parties will persist. The MPP says, in fact, some of their candidates for the national executive election says they are going to bring back their armies.
You know,
they said they'll bring back their armies.
Elections,
and these are vigilante groups. And that even means that 2028 general elections is going to be another very tense election.
The fear is what they left behind. The fear is what they left behind. What they did to the systems, the institutions. So their fear is that if things are not done right, it will come back to haunt them. That's why they are saying that they are going to bring their military. But I tell you what, that will not happen. Because we are streamlining the situation, and we are making sure that the institutions will be free from politics. We all know the police is supposed to maintain internal peace. So why do you have to politicize this thing? Look at the way even the recruitment are done. I keep on saying that if you want to maintain the needed peace in the country, then it means that we should allow the institutions to work. And then when somebody is actually found culpable of actually going against the laws of the country, the law must take its course. Elections are actually processed. It starts from somewhere and ends at somewhere. For instance, what happened in Banda when they were doing the registration, it said it has nothing to do with elections. It's not true. It is preparation towards the final election. If you do not register, you can't vote. And people start those skirmishes from that place. So because they know if you allow
at the registration center.
No.
It was at night. He was found dead.
No.
And they said because it wasn't
nice. It wasn't nice. And it's when we were talking, I did not come in. So allow me to say whatever.
You came in late.
I came in late. I kept quiet and listening to you whilst you were actually coming. What happened at Banda Hinkru? What was the offense of the guy who was shot? We all saw what happened. People were even prevented from registration. It took our national chairman to intervene. If you remember what happened in Banda, it took our national chairman, the then Bono regional chairman, Abronye, led the security personnel to prevent people from registering, because they said they are not natives of that community. Meanwhile, those people were Ghanaians. So it means that you are using those processes to reduce the number of people who actually qualify to register and vote. And if you prevent those things, it means that you don't want democracy to work. Democracy is supposed to promote just society. Democracy is supposed to promote fairness. Democracy is supposed to allow people to express their preference for a candidate in an elections. So democracy starts from the day of what? Registration and other things. People are made aware, why should you vote for this party? Why should you not vote for this party? Why should you register when you are 18 years or more? So if you are preventing people from registering, it means that you are telling them that they are not qualified to register. Meanwhile, they are Ghanaians. They are of sound mind.
At the moment, Claire, the MPP does not trust the security services under your management. What do you think you can do to bring them on board? Because that will go a long way in averting some of these violence we see in our election. What do you think you can do? Even, as a government, what do you think needs to be done to win them over?
Like if you what I said from my distance, I said what they left behind is what is hunting them.
So what can you do?
That is why we are stimulating the institutions. We have to take politics from institutions like the military and the police. They even went to the point of what? Even politicizing the EC here in Ghana. We were all here when a communication member of MPP in the Bono region was appointed as a deputy EC officer. We saw the cry, people actually, a lot of civil society spoke against it, but they did not do anything about it. So these are things that if care is not taken, it will go to what? Destroy the beauty of democracy that we are enjoying.
Well, they've criticized the IGP. Maybe you haven't heard it. In fact, they describe him as incompetent, and they said he will go down as the worst IGP. How do you respond to that?
What has he done? What is his cause? what offense has he committed?
I mean, they cite how some individuals were handled. Obama Pokwasi, how he was handled. Some individuals in the Ashanti, how they were handled. He also, Doc also talks about his personal experience, how some police personnel came to his home, bundled him into a pickup. He's written to the IGP, he's not gotten a response, and he has no idea why he was arrested and mishandled the manner in which he was done. And they say all of these things, and the IGP has done very little about it.
I believe you all bear with me that in every society, you get these things there. And that is why we have to work on it to ensure that we sanitize the situation. So those things are minor ones, unlike the previous ones that were happening. So if the IGP have these challenges, I think definitely the institution that take charge of those things will see to it, and then those things will be addressed. It's unfortunate that Doc, as at now, he's saying that he has not gotten any reply to whatever he wrote to them. I believe now it is known to the public and everything will be there to it as it should be. So Doc, don't worry so much.
It was known before.
Long before.
Long before. And I made comparison between the CJ, the acting CJ, and then the IGP.
Yeah, he said.
And I must say on this platform that the best appointment made by His Excellency the President, John Dramani Mahama, the best so far, is the appointment of the acting CJ, now hoping to take up the mantle of CJ, but Justice Bafo Boni. I am telling you, I have confidence.
For the IGP,
I have no confidence in the IGP. Zero confidence. And for my brother Honorable to say that it's minor, I don't think it's minor, because I am a citizen of this land.
I know.
I have human rights, just like anybody seated here, enshrined in the Constitution. And so if you conduct yourself in a manner in which delays justice, then you've denied me of justice.
No, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that at least you have actually mentioned that you are happy with the appointment of the acting CJ. So these are some of the things that we are correcting. We've not been in office for long. I think we are getting to what our 10th month or so. Let's ask ourselves, once you have brought these CJ issues in, people actually said, why was the previous CJ being asked to move out of office? If you look at the foundation of her appointment, clearly you all know that if you appoint a CJ, that the senior most one should be the one to be considered.
We'll get into that.
Ask yourself. I'm just ask yourself. As at the time that she was appointed as a CJ, was she the most senior?
So she was not qualified.
Let me ask you. We are looking at those things that qualified there.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't want to get into the CJ matter.
The law didn't say that.
So, like Doc said, we are human. We are researching. We are correcting the errors that has actually been done in the past. For the past 8 years, a lot of damages has actually been done to our institutions. Politicization, militarization, and other things that actually calm them into silence. They've not been able to perform as they should have done under normal circumstances because of the nature of the things that happened in the past. So some of them are still reeking in the past. They think that they are still under the previous administration. So like I said, we are working on them and things will be normalized. Like Doc said, we will not allow justice to delay, because if you delay justice, you are now going to create insecurity in the society, and of which we are not ready for that. It is NDC in power, and we believe in fairness, we believe in justice, we want democracy to work, because if you want to say anything about this democracy that we are enjoying, 92, and even if we were writing the Constitution, we invited those who are now in opposition to be part of the writing of the Constitution. They said they were not ready to sit with the marketing teachers and the rest.
NPP was not even there when we were writing.
No, but we all know.
Why do you lie through your teeth? NDC was NPP as a political party was not even there.
No, he said the opposition.
I said opposition. There
was no opposition at that time.
I said,
but there were people.
There was no opposition at that time.
There were people. There were people.
Which was the opposition? There were no political parties at that time.
No, but no opposition. Not just in terms of political parties. There were people who had issues.
People did not believe in. People said that Ghana at that time was not even ready to go back to democratic dispensation. People were not even ready to support the Constitution, because they said we see more time.
The lie that the NPP has always boycotted.
So allow me to come. So when you get your time, you can also do.
Nobody was speaking for long.
No. been here all this while.
And he's digressing.
No, you've been here all this while. You've been here all this while. I wasn't around.
On our land for me.
So, like I'm landing, I want him to understand that this opposition, this thing that I'm talking has not been now. Even when we were fighting for independence, you saw what happened. People have to write to the Queen that Ghana wasn't ready at that time. So
interesting.
So
these are
there are a lot of things that have happened in relation to the opposition in this country. So we need to research.
NDC didn't exist in that time.
We need to make sure that things are done right. So like the experienced doctor and other people are experiencing, we'll be there. But I know as the day goes by and then we streamline things, all this will be in the past.
All right.
So Doc, you get your justice and everything will be okay.
All right, Doc. Interesting.
Well, Razak, I must say that I have lived abroad. I've traveled wide. Indeed, a country where people would say you dare not even resist any oppression is China. Right? In China, those that know me very well know what I did in China to stand for our people, especially the Ghanaian students who were illegally arrested. I had mobilized some boys, gone to the immigration and demonstrated. They did not even handcuff me and put me behind bars, let alone my own very country. So ASP Samuel Anabofo, he should listen and understand that. So far as I, Inusah, live, I will seek for justice. And this matter will get to the end of this matter. I am not here to say that I am going to attack him or because they can be very smart and misconstrue what I'm saying this morning. And I know that you have not heard me say that I am going to attack any ASP this morning. Have I said anything?
But the video is there, so definitely.
Have I said anything? No, but I want to clarify.
Yeah.
Because these people are, unfortunately, people that are banded in some form of ill mentality, you know what I mean, towards how they even operate. I don't want to use a very derogatory word this morning. But what I'm saying is that, Razak, this IGP is not fit for this office. And the earlier we start to look for other alternatives, the better. It is a wrong move the president made. He shouldn't have even appointed Yohonu as IGP in the first place. I know some senior, qualified, I don't want to mention names, commissioners of police that would have acted excellently and adequately in mitigating a lot of security issues or insecurity issues across the country. All these pockets of violence you've seen, the Binayiri crisis, even to talk about even Boko. So we are calling for if removal of Yohonu, I am calling for the removal of Yohonu. People say, on what basis? That he has denied, he has infringed on my constitutional right. That alone can even cause for his removal.
The military has always been part of our elections. They had never manned a polling station before. And even in 2020 and 2024, they were not at polling stations. I vote in the Asawasi constituency. In 2016, there were military in their cars patrolling. In 2020, there were military in their cars patrolling. And that happens. You see, when you live in a flashpoint, my constituency is regarded as a flashpoint. So almost all the time, you see the military, but they don't man polling stations. You see, the problem has to do with the fact that when you have people inciting their people to go to collation centers, that is when the problem is, because almost all the people who were killed in 2020 and 2024 were at a collation center. Almost all of them.
Nobody incited them.
Oh, I'm coming. But you said you were against interjection. You were against interjection, and you are.
Nobody incited them. So they were at the collation center. They were
in Tesima South. Those who were killed were not even police agents. They were just incited to come there. That is Christopher Bayre incited them to come to the police station.
It's not true. It's not true. It's a total lie.
But both of them are complicit in this.
I'm saying that. Almost all those who were killed. Almost all those who were killed.
So, Razak,
why wouldn't you be allowed in land?
It's not true. Nobody incited them. They were in the police center to listen to whatever was going.
What were they doing at the collation center?
So why do you have to bring? We are not at the battlefield.
Even if you are a polling agent, you don't go to collation center.
And if they were there
are people accredited to go to collation centers.
It is not true. It is not.
What is not true?
What is not true is that nobody forced
They've all been
I'm saying that at the coalition center, people are accredited to go there.
Honorable, let him make the point.
Well, no,
let him make the point.
Who should we actually listen to? Because they've all been complicit in this act.
No.
And they all live in a glass house.
I'm saying that
let our land.
Even at Ablekuma Central, it didn't happen in the coalition center, outside the coalition center, and almost all the incidents happened outside the coalition center. We, as political party, will have to advise our people not to go there. That is very important. The second thing is that when you see, when an NDC person is talking today and is saying that we have politicized the police service and so on, in your entire life, have you ever heard in this country that the police station was no longer safe for military people? It happened just 3 days ago.
Who said that?
You didn't see that?
Yeah, we'll come into that.
You didn't see the video?
We'll come into that.
That the police station was not even safe for military.
They have to run for their life, and then you are.
I'm saying that in this country,
it is not
police station.
It is not true.
It's not safe because NDC and MP.
No, he's talking about the incident that happened in Wheaton.
3 days ago.
The attack on Naimos.
The colonel had to be moved out of the police station because they said the police station was not safe for him.
All right.
That's not true.
Yeah, interesting. Now, I think what we get out of this, and I think you made a very profound point about the fact that, look, the political parties need to educate the people, their supporters particularly, especially when it comes to election, especially having to do with going to coalition centers, camping there. But also the policemen, security men have to exercise highest form of restraint, the highest form of restraint. And I think that informed the decision by the current leadership of the police relative to the Ablekuma rerun not to arm any of their police personnel. And we saw what happened there. Of course, in the Akwete election, they learned the lesson. They didn't arm some of the
learn any lessons in
Akwete. Fair enough.
Because up to now, the cases have not been resolved.
Well, fair enough. Maybe we might have different views on that. But fundamentally, the security men need to exercise a bit of restraint because at the least provocation, you can't start shooting around. You can't start shooting. At the least provocation, you can start shooting. And of course, also, party faithfuls will also need to be a bit more, of course, it's election. You can understand the tension and all of that. Now, we want to get into our letter to the president. And of course, I'm sure we'll link it to the latest development on the Fidium, the mob attack on Naimos. We'll link it to that. This is our latest letter to the president on the need for him to stop Galamsey. So let's watch this very briefly, and we'll come into it.
In Winneba, water, the most basic need, has become a daily gamble. Taps run not with clean water, but with murky, brown liquid that stains clothes, and residents say now threatens their lives.
We ended our semester exams last Tuesday, and I went to church to give thanks to God for a successful end of semester, and to also seek for traveling mercies as I travel home.
Meet Amos Indam, a level 300 student of the University of Education, Winneba. Today should be a joyous day. He just finished his semester exams and went to church to give thanks to God. But his biggest worry is not his grades. It is how to stay clean in a town where water has become a hazard.
The issues of water has become a threat in the life of the people of Winneba, especially these very jurisdictions where I live. Some of us have to resort into going to fetch water from the sea, the salt water, and of course I did.
Amos is not asking for miracles, only colorless water, the kind he once learned about in class.
Per what I was taught when I was in basic school, water is colorless. But this very time, water has become something different, especially in the morning. When you go to fetch water, it will marvel you to see the color of water being yellowish, containing some particles, such that even if you wash with a cloth that is white, you end up staining it. So much afraid, so I'm not going to wash here. I'll take it home and wash. Because if I do, that will end its lifespan. So I'm not going to wash it here.
So where are you going to wash it? Where are you coming from?
I'm from water region. So when I get home, as long as I'll be here, so I'll put it when I get home anytime I wash. But before we started exams, I was admitted 3 times. And I think it's as a result of the water. Not that I drink, but when I bath, after finishing, I feel some scratches on my skin. And I want to believe it is because of the chemicals, mercury, that they actually used for the mining activities is what is giving. And so it's having a greater impact. Not positive impact, but a negative effect on our health.
The Winneba headworks is suffocating. Silt choking its intake. Raw water so polluted it cannot be properly treated. And as the system gasps, an entire community finds itself drowning in uncertainty.
That's the reality. We source our water from one of the rivers in Ghana, and I think it's one of the rivers that major galamsey activity is also operated on. And so if the water is polluted, it is obvious that the water we get here will also be polluted.
So according to the line, when you ask, they say now because of the galamsey, the water was people used to use so many chemicals before it would be neat.
Winneba is full of Amoses. Among them, elders who remember when water was not a privilege.
We used to get water every day. But now for some time, for some days now, sometimes it could take us more than 1 week, there will be no water. We have to travel, go far. We used to go to Bawumia, get one river there, they call it Bawumia. And then we'll go fetch the water, and the water is not clean. Even though the one way will come from waterworks itself, if you fetch it, put it down, for some hours, you will see say there's dirty, clay under.
Sometimes I say, until we don't cry, and I fufu. Give me my you say, I'm going to say no much. Nay, on a son, if it's 90. There's a well as Sabbath, there's a well as an alcohol, for but oh, Muja, you should may a pomachow, Ghana paying a stroller.
Go to ISO, as will be watched, now it's red. So this is our pleading. So we are begging the government to help us. So we don't get more to say. The water is giving us much headache.
The people of Winneba are not asking for luxury, just clean water to bathe, to wash, to live.
President John Dramani Mahama, I don't think we are winning the fight against galamsey. And if we want to win the fight against galamsey, we must employ radical means.
Our president, Mahama, I beg, when you want to come to power, you pledge to say if you come, you will stop galamsey. But now, we never get 1 year. It's almost 8 months, 9 months now. So we beg you to try to stop it, because that galamsey is giving us big headache about this our waters. So we are pleading for you, and we beg you for you to help us so that we can stop the galamsey people, so that we can get good drinking water to drink.
President John Dramani Mahama promised to end illegal mining. Here in Winneba, the water tells a different story. Residents say they do not want speeches, they want action. And they want it now, before an entire town is left unwashed, untreated, and unsafe. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News, Winneba, Central Region.
Well, the National Anti-Galamsey Secretariat, the task force that have been given the mandate to go about in this very national exercise to try and stop illegal mining. They were the subject of attack in Hidiem in Esitifi North, if I'm right. I understand they went there to stop Esitifi South and Esitifi South. Of course, they were almost lynched by over 600 men who apparently were unhappy that the military men had gone to arrest some individuals that they caught engaged in illegal mining. An MP who found himself in the mix of that has now been picked up by the CID, has been arraigned before the courts. We understand he's been given a bail in excess of 150,000 Ghana cedis. And that was disclosed by the majority leader. And the Speaker of Parliament has indicated that he will not shield anybody. But the big question is, if NIMOS, who have been given such a Herculean task, all the power to do this work, is being attacked, can we ever win this fight against galamsey? Because the people of Winneba say they want water, and they are not even getting water. Let me start with you, Honorable.
Thank you. I believe we've been in office for not that too long, and measures that we've been we have been put in place are clear indication that we are going to win the war. But this emboldenment from the communities that were able to attack those people have been put in place to ensure that the fight against Galamsey is rooted from what happened in time past.
Well, what happened in time past?
In about 8 years. 8 years, the people have been emboldened. They think it is normal to go into Galamsey business. For instance, let me give you this. If you go to Asante region, the regional chairman of MPP, he went to a forest to do prospecting before you realize he was into proper mining. The then minister spoke about it. He had wanted to take action. It took the president to say he wasn't into any illegal mining. And that now, as we speak now, the man is facing the law. Apart from that, look at the committee that was put in place by the previous administration. The secretary to that committee, what happened? From a renowned surgeon, a renowned professor. Look at what happened to him. He became the enemy of the state. He was attacked left, right, center because he had written a report against these illegal mining activities. Central region, their deputy, their vice chairman, what did he say? He said, party here. So people were like, it was normal to go into Galamsey. So for the past 8 years, that has been their lifestyle. So if you are bringing change is something that nobody will want, especially when they think it is going to affect them in a way as far as their earning is concerned. But we are not stopping there. A lot of measures have been put in place. This military, now look at it. Can you imagine, come to think of it, the forest reserves that are supposed to be there for the unborn generation, law was actually passed to allow people to mine in the forest reserve. What have we done?
You haven't yet. Yes, you've laid it before Parliament to repeal it, but it's been 8 months, you haven't repealed it.
You said we have laid before Parliament. It's a step. You all know parliamentary system is a process.
But the bigger problem here has to do especially with what happened in FDM. Is your member of Parliament.
He's dodging it.
I'm not dodging it.
Your member of Parliament. It's been accused
he went
of
to ensure
freeing.
He went to ensure. Now the thing is before court. So the matters of this nature, that is before court. Definitely we cannot discuss into details. But what I can say is that the fact that this group were there, you know, now what we are doing is that we are stationing the military at the forest reserve areas across the country.
The military men they are stationing, they are the ones who are accusing your member of Parliament of interfering in their work. They arrested some illegal miners, and they say that he came
they are accusing.
And apparently, you know, got them freed, and they became the target of a mob attack.
So, you know, the matter is before court. We cannot rely on one-sided story. You have to look at the face of whatever is happening. Now the MP is saying his side, the military is saying side, the society also is saying their side. So until the court comes out their final verdict, I believe these things, we need to allow the court to actually go into it.
But you understand the concern that if some senior members of your party appear to be interfering in the work of NIMOS, interfering in the fight against Galamsey, people ordinarily have concern that you don't have the political will to fight Galamsey.
It is not true. No, there's nothing like senior members within our party are interfering in the activities of those.
The MP is a senior member of your party in the CCP North.
The matter is before court. You cannot project. You cannot judge when the judgment has not been done. The matter is before court.
Yeah, but that's an allegation on him, and those allegations.
It's allegation.
But likewise, to me, it's an allegation on him, and the matter is in court.
That's why it's in court. We, court of public opinion, cannot determine the final verdict of what is going to happen in the court. It's not like the previous time when somebody will stand on a political platform and tell you that by the time you finish our term of office, all these people will go to jail.
But the thing about, and I'm just going to come to Allah because we need to be wrapping up.
So what I'm saying,
I just want to refer you to something. Just about 2 months ago, also in some parts of the Ashanti region, what we saw happen to the military men is not the first time. That's Manso, a part Manso, if I'm getting it right. Manso. When the IGP put together a police task force to fight against illegal mining, they went to some parts of Manso and the whole community chased them out, led by the assemblyman at the time. Chased them out. And here we are also seeing security men being slapped at the back because they were fighting against illegal mining.
It's unfortunate. But that's what we have lived with the past 8 years. So people think it is normal to go into those things. So now that we want to change the narrative, they are not happy, but we are going to work on it. I can assure you that by the time the year ends, a lot of changes must have been done.
Regardless of the challenges,
naturally challenges will come. You know, this is deeply rooted in the society, and it has become people's livelihood. They depend on it. So once you are taking those things and then correcting the wrong, that's why we want to do responsible mining. We want to do responsible mining. We don't want to allow party folks to say party Nyeska. So we should go and do what will affect the unborn generation. That's why all these groups are in place. People are supposed to mine this, the water bodies. People are supposed to take charge of the forest reserve. We are now going to revoke the law that allow, can you imagine, that you allow your system to come into being with a law that allow the reserves that are there for the unborn generation to be mining. People doing mining in the forest reserve.
Yeah, you've said a lot to repeal it. That's a very good step. That's very good step.
My brother Awa, he doesn't even have the moral right to talk about these things, because in their 8 years of administration, they did worse and we are correcting them wrong, and they are here. I'm surprised that Awa will be mentioning things in line with fighting against.
Let me come to Awa. Let me see his take on this.
Razak, the first time excavators were used in water bodies to do galamsey was in 2011 under Mills. You remember the documentary by Anas Armiawanas?
But, I mean, the documentary showed at the time that it was happening, but you can't vouch that that was the first time.
That was the first time.
It is not true.
The excavators were used. There's a video of the president at that time who is saying that now the thing has gone a bit higher to the extent that people are using excavators. President Mills.
Let him land. We have very limited time to wrap up. So, just go ahead.
That is one. Two is that if it was not a problem in 2017, why did you, the media, held the president in the neck and told him to ban legal small-scale mining? We inherited a mess. You remember when President Mahama went to Chebi and said it was the headquarters of Galamsey. This was in 2016 when he was president of Ghana.
2024.
When he was president of Ghana. In 2017.
From 2017 to 2024.
Will you allow Honorable, let him land so that we can wrap.
In 2017, we had to ban small-scale mining in this country for 2 years. We did that. After that, we started the Operation Vanguard. We did the Galamstop 1 and 2. We did Operation Halt, where we were burning excavators, did all these things. And you told us that we were not really fighting it. You remember when we were arresting people, people were incarcerated in this country. President Mahama told us that no, if he's given the opportunity to rule this country, he will even give them amnesty to come back because there are kingpins.
He
says, you know, the kingpins who are into it, not necessarily the small boys.
No.
Today, Naivos is telling us that they had arrested 1,400 people. Where are the kingpins? Today we know the kingpins.
Yeah.
The kingpins are the MPs.
It is not true.
The kingpins are the MP who went. Fortunately, you see, what happened to the military, you will not say you are happy. But I can tell you that I am happy that the boss himself was part of what happened.
Can you imagine?
The boss has seen it firsthand. How an MP incited people
has been attacked.
No, I'm saying that if it were to be his boys, maybe we may not even have this discussion. But the boss himself, who was in charge of the anti-Galamsey fight, said he was saved by the grace of God. That was what he said. He said it was by the grace of God that he was saved. In the history of this country, it has never happened that the police station is not safe for military people.
It is not true.
District police office.
It is not.
Look at what is happening. The video is here. If it is not true, Ghanaians will look at who a liar is because the video is here.
Who is lying?
This is a police station. And the military are being moved out of the police station. And the car there is the car of the...
Well, you see, at one point also the minority leader made in parliament, and maybe he took a more nationalistic view of this. He says that, look, the political actors have not done well in the fight against Galamsey.
Yes.
And that seems to be an admission that maybe all the political actors need to carry upon themselves. And to a very large extent, the politicization of Galamsey has also affected its fight.
So that is the reason when you campaign against us. Roll out things that you think you will come and do. Right now, Honorable says that we have allowed people to mine in the forest reserve.
Yes.
Before we left government, we laid that LI in Parliament, and we were kicked out of government. President Mahama said he will repeal that LI. In the last 8 months, if the government is ready, and if it is true that it's not the NDC that is mining in the forest reserve, why didn't you repeal it? We saw D-levy. Within 24 hours, it went through. This one, you accuse us that we have sent our people to mine in forest reserve. MPP people are mining in forest reserve. He repeated it here. Yeah. For the last 10 months, you couldn't repeal it for the MPP people to bring them out of the forest.
That is supposed to be.
Which parliament?
But they've now.
When you needed D-levy, you did it within 24 hours.
All right, Doc. All right, Doc.
Parliament. This should tell you that it is the NDC that is mining in the forest reserve today. That is the reason they are not able to do that.
All right, Doc.
What did you do?
All right, Doc. Doc, come in so I can read some messages.
You said we are doing Galamsey in a forest reserve.
Yes, and you are.
And now you are failing to repeal the law because the people are doing it. It is the NDC.
All right, gentlemen, let's
the MPs.
All right, I think, Honourable, you do appreciate his point. Of course, finally, the bill has been laid before Parliament. The Minister for Lands has indicated they're going to follow through it. We'll see how long it will take for it to be passed, if it to be fast.
Pressure from you and the
we're going to see how it's to be done. But one point has to be made. Doc.
Not do for the past 8 years. It's taken 8 months and we're working on it.
All right, Doc.
You use certificate of agency to pass.
Would you please respectfully, when all of you were speaking on this matter, I kept quiet and listened to what you were saying.
All right, please have your take so I can read some messages.
Add some addition to what he has said.
I mean, I will sit down here as a hypocrite to politicize that I'm saying. I am an ultra-nationalistic person, and that is why I belong to the United Party, the Ghana First. I sit down here in solidarity with millions of Ghanaians that do not have access to clean, non-toxic water to drink. I mean, we see a lot of congenital birth defects in Galamsey-prone areas today. Agriculture, which is the backbone of our economy today, is being affected by this menace. And all we can do here this morning is to sit and politicize and put blame games. You did this, I did this, and you did this. That is not the solution. We want to see a legitimate, honest political will in the fight against Galamsey, that each and every political party in this country should come together so that we join hands together as Ghanaians.
Did you say this in 2024?
As Ghanaians first, to be able to fight against Galamsey.
He didn't say this in 2024.
This menace of Galamsey would not be won if we politicize it. And so my advice to both the MPP and the NDC is that we, the United Party, have brought up some 10-point solutions to fight the menace of Galamsey. We are calling on all of you to hold hands together so that we can fight for the collective interests of Ghanaians and not for our political gains.
All right, let me just read a few messages that have come through for you guys.
I was on several platforms.
Someone said, good morning. This is Ganiu from the Savannah region. What happened to the man who died? I thought the MP for Ewutu Senya claimed to have been sitting in the front seat. Wasn't this the same lady who granted interviews and cried? Politicians can be something else. So why was she accusing the former MP, Howard Kumson? If those involved truly had issues with the former MP, why are they now silent or refusing to speak out? It's clear that the current NDC MP exploited the emotions of the public and falsely accused the former MP for political gain. And it has to do with the Ewutu Senya, violence that happened in the elections. The Interior Minister said the task force went to engage the MP, and the MP said she was nowhere near the incident. But some interview she had granted, she said she was in the car when the bullets were being fired, but now she said she was nowhere near the incident. So that's what he's reacting to. All right, let me take a few more. This one from Meshaka Santi says, okay, we're not talking about light wave, so It says, Teacher Kojo from Tepa says, it is sad and unfortunate that the NDC government, under the NDC government, military is being harassed by their NDC foot soldiers and galamseyers. When an MPP member goes against the law, the AG and security agencies organize a press conference and announce to the whole world that the person is guilty. They handcuff the person, take pictures of him or her, and share them on social media platform for the world to see. Surprisingly, if any NDC member commits crime, all we hear is that he has been taken to court and granted bail. The case dies there, he says. It's a selective justice under Joe Mahama. He's asking, what a world. And he says, greetings to Dr. Bawumia. Someone says, good morning. To combat corruption in Ghana, we need to strengthen and promote transparency and hold office holders accountable. Okay. This one also says, good morning. I want to believe that the IGP, as they are saying, is really the worst one ever. You will see him ordering for arrest of people who speak against him or NDC, and free people who boldly say, I'll take somebody life. Appointment is not permanent, he says. Okay, good morning, Joy Prime. It's not surprised the way my friend Awal is speaking, the way he is speaking the way he did. He said he's been influenced by the sound economic environment he's now enjoying, which was lacking during their time. He should rather focus on rebuilding the divided party, which they are starting from the top to the bottom. Dasiba Moses from Chirpone. Interesting. Dasiba, okay. Good morning, he says. Yeah, these violences will continue because unlike Rawlings' era, when recruitments were done on merit, where the strong and most qualified were selected, now weaklings are taken in the name of protocols. And this protocol thing started from the former President Kufuor's regime and has grown out of proportion now. The panelists who said the youth yearn for military rule is perfectly right. If you don't believe it, conduct a survey and the results will marvel you. Does it make sense for the military to be sent on anti-illegal mining assignment by the president and the members of the very government trying to obstruct their work? He asks. Okay, well, that's pretty much it. I understand that's all the messages we can read.
So, Razak, was not...
yeah, we need to go now, so just 1 minute, then yes. we just...
So,
yeah.
Razak, we in the United Party believe in the Ghana First agenda. Galamsey is, I would say, poverty in disguise. If you look at the World Bank policy notes for 2025, it has indicated that the poverty incidence rate within our rural areas is 80%.
Yeah.
So we are calling on the presidency and the current government to expedite that industrial agenda that we have even posited in our great transformational plan so that we can be able to tap into the natural resources and indeed the human resource that we have, the youthful population that we have, to be able to turn the corners of this economy so that Ghana rises again.
Well, Doc, thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming through. Dr. Ramzi Inusah is...
No, you don't. After all this shouting, you need 1 minute. No, we are done.
Because you see, the MP, Ebenezer Kwakwadu, yesterday, you may think that there is a swift action. He was sent to court. In court, he was given 150,000. He was given 150,000.
You said you may think.
You will also be given 1 minute. So don't interrupt.
We need to go. We need to go. At this rate, all right, I think I have to go.
You should tell them that if you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. Don't live in a glass house. So the next agenda,
thank you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for tuning in. Honorable, thank you very much for coming. Really appreciate you. Hopefully, we'll get to visit your municipality one of these days, and we'll see how it goes. Well, the show continues, but let me say a very big thank you to some people who have been very supportive of our recent work, the EcoBank Joy Business SME Fair. Quite a number of companies did make their way here. I want to say a big thank you to our sponsors, EcoBank. They supported us, so a big thank you to EcoBank, and also to MTN Momo. Thank you very much, MTN Momo. Make sure you patronize them. Then Syntex Tank also were our proud sponsors. Syntex Tank, thank you very much. Greenbox Sewage Services. Greenbox Sewage Ghana Limited. Thank you very much, Greenbox. And JW Foods also. Thank you very much, JW Foods, for your sponsorship. And the Ghana Export Promotion Authority. Thank you very much for supporting the SME Fair. Then also to our exhibitors, Vitz Beats, thank you for coming on board. Beautiful Creations Company Limited, BB Brothers, HL Graphics, Smodak Enterprise, Side Hustle, Pensive Global Consultancy, 77 Lubricant, Ship Fast Cargo and Logistics, M Tickets, SBS Corporate Services, and Travel X Aviation, Noni Facility Management, Beautiful Creations Limited, and Aura Site Consult and Investment. These were some of our exhibitors on the ground on Friday to Sunday. Thank you very much for coming on board.